Like, when are we going to hold people to a higher standard of making better decisions? You owe my parents $2,587.23 with interest. Because the last time I checked, the Bible said a man that doesn't work shouldn't eat. You taking care of a grown man in your home. I clocked it. Like, come on, where's the critical thinking skills? This is the Ever Airwaves Think podcast, brought to you by Live One Company, where we explore ideas that challenge, comfort, and clarify. I'm Liv, and in every episode, we break down life's complexities with intellect, insight, and a touch of curiosity. All right, we're on air. Let them fix it themselves. Stop trying to be their savior because you are not anyone's savior. You have to make them do the work and let them sit in their ish because you keep pulling up and saving them. They've never had to think rationally. Like, come on, where's the critical thinking skills? Like, when are we going to hold people to a higher standard of making better decisions? When we choose to make better decisions for ourselves every single day, like why they can't make good decisions for themselves every single day. It's literally a choice. You're dealing with people who choose the BS. They refuse to pay their bills. They refuse to get a job. They refuse to get in the word, and they refuse to have some kind of spiritual alignment with God to get them all the way right. So instead, you pretty much are insisting to allow them to take your money, you paying their bills, you cleaning up their mess, and you're trying to help them find a job. I mean, do I need to bring the receipts, baby girl? Okay, I'm over here in my Mariah Huck bag. I need for you to stop saving them. You've done enough already. And because you are not really fixing them, you're not fixing their problems anyway, but instead you're actually enabling them to do more of the tomfoolery because they're learning nothing pretty much by letting you handle their problems for them. People only grow when they learn themselves, when they experience themselves. So let's no longer be the clown in their story anymore. You may need to be the villain. And I'm not talking about some menacing type stuff, but I'm talking about you withdrawing yourself and pulling back from their problems and allow them to solve their own problems. Will you now be the villain in their eyes? Yes, probably so. But guess what? They're going to learn today. And that's how you let them fix it. Let me tell you how I had to get someone all the way together because I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. We're not fixing over here. No more. Okay. And I was standing all the way on fix it yourself business because I don't play about my mama or my daddy. So my parents are really good Samaritans. I mean, they just be helping any and everybody. And they have like an addiction to helping others, which is a really good quality and characteristic of them. And which is something I really actually love about them. But it can be to a fault at times because my siblings and I, we've seen this over the years with outsiders just wanting to quote unquote borrow and need this and need that. Come fix this and come fix that. And they're repeated offenders. Pretty much that my parents was helping out. Okay. And I'd be like, Zam, you ain't learned yet. And yes, I said Zam with a Z. I'm keeping it cute and classy, but how you ain't learned yet? My parents are not Bob the Builder and neither are you. You are not responsible for fixing someone else's mess. People will really sit in, their chaos and wait for you to show up and clean it up. It's very draining. How do they think it's okay to come disturb your peace when it's not even your problem? When you're always helping someone with their problems and issues, you are only reconfirming their own self-messaging and beliefs that they are incapable of figuring out things for themselves. And this is furthest from the truth. Fake news, fake news. Those who find themselves in a dog pile of ish every day are what we call repeated offenders. This is not just life happening to them. These are their outcomes from poor decision making. Everyone knows right from wrong, going left or going right, successful moves versus low vibrational decisions, order and discipline from chaos and truth instead of their lies. Most people that continue to make bad decisions make them on purpose. They do it for some immediate, non-factor gratification that is only a temporary solution with the expectation that they can cry and play woe is me for help. Yeah, we clocking it today because no, queen, we're not over here choosing to do the right things and then having to spend our money, our time, and our energy to help these hot mess people. You know good and well all your hard work and earnest doings do not deserve in having to clean up the hot A mess of others. We're not doing that because, like, where they do that at? You know, what's the old folks saying? If you did it, then you need to lay in your mess. Because why are you financially bailing out someone who keeps going to check cashing places every other week, knowing they shouldn't, and that it's only a scheme Todd and them set up to come to you with the with the BS? Shout out to Mama Joyce. But for real, why you got to pay someone else's light bills when they took their dusty behinds up to their workplace and cuss all them people out? They knew what the repercussions would be for basically telling their boss to put their head between their legs and kiss their assets goodbye. You didn't do it. They did it. So why do you have to pay for them being fired? How come you're accepting their punishment by rescuing them when you've done everything right? I mean, of course, you wanted to put your slick talking boss in a chokehold sometimes and probably monkey stump them too. But yeah, did you do it? No, you did not. Because you're better than that and you know right from wrong. You knew what the outcome would be. You'd be out of a job and probably locked up on some assault charges, okay? Because how you bring in baddies to work? You know how to hold your head, play the game, and not jeopardize your situation that has a domino effect. And they do too, but they chose not to and now want you to suffer the consequences with them by having to take on their responsibilities because they out of a job. They have no coins, but it was a decision they made, knowing that they have their own household, their own kids, and other responsibilities. They basically made a stupid decision, but want you to pay for it. We're not doing that. No, because let them fix it so they can learn. If you keep fixing it for them, they will never learn. And that's facts on facts on facts, big facts. Because if they don't do anything else, they're going to learn today. Anyway, I digress. But one day this lady tried it, trifling self. My folks had already been helping them or helping her. When I say them, her and her kids for like months, right? And one day we were in the grocery store and ran into her. So this was me and my mom. Now get this, my parents hadn't seen or heard from her like in like several weeks because they had just like financially helped her, but then she like went ghost. And so pretty much, I wasn't surprised like if she had like literally pulled up to us on the store or like saw us or something. But anyway, she was trying to get some coins out of my mama. Now, child, I was like standing next to my mom, and when she was asking for money, I just got to staring. I was like, I see you, lady. You ain't fooling me. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You are fully capable of handling your own problems. I knew this to be a fact because I had driven by her house one time and seen a man she was literally taking care of going up into her house, going in and out. She had like 3 kids of her own, but taking care of a man that she was dating. And I said to myself, I know you're not over here soliciting money off my mama while, you taking care of a grown A man in your home. I clocked it. I hadn't told my parents what I had discovered just yet about her, just because, I was living my independent college summer break life. Okay. I was in and out, working 2 jobs, saving up to get my own apartment for junior year. But I thought since the lady, had went ghost to my parents, that was probably going to be the last time they see her anyway. But you know what? I should have known better. I really should have known better. But, also, there was a for sale sign in her yard. And I knew this because for one of my jobs, I used to have to her house was like en route of my summer job. So whoever she was renting from, they basically were selling a home. And this has, you know what? Let me back it up. Pause. Let me scale it back. At the end of the day, let me gather myself. Okay. This lady Basically, like I said, had a full grown man up in her house, but I also gathered that she was, pretty much moving out of the area soon anyway, because of the for sale sign. And I knew she didn't own her home. Pretty much, I was just minding the business that pays me, staying out of grown folks' business, even though my parents' business was and still is my business. Okay. I was grown, right? A college grown. So I was an adult, a young adult. I was in a position to be heard and not just seen anymore. If you know, you know. She approached my mother in the grocery store asking if my mom could give her money to cover what was in her cart. And I was like, I know you lying. I know you lying. And the way I had so much respect for my parents and not making a public scene. So I actually gave this lady like the death stare and turned around, looked at my mama and like whispered in her ear, give her nothing. And I pretty much walked off. I think I went to like the dairy aisle or something to hold my peace. By the time I came back from the dairy aisle, the lady was gone and my mama had given her what she needed for her groceries. I said, Ma, let her fix her own problems. That lady is hustling, y'all. And, she's good. So I basically ended up telling my mom everything that I knew right then. And my mom was like, well, I just wanted to bless her because of her young kids, which was like, they were like ages 5, 9, and 12, something like that. But my mom was like, that could have been her brother or something, maybe not her man. And I was like, that was her man. Trust me. Okay. I know for sure that was her man and not her brother. And basically she using your coins to keep him. So when we got home and, I was like, I know my mom's about to go tell my dad. So I was ear hustling their conversation. I was saying to myself, that better be the last time my parents helped that lion lip lady. Like, I'm not going to deny, she did have financial problems and other issues going on with caring for her kids. But my parents were enabling her, like talking about, we just want to bless her and her kids. Okay, Mom, they've been blessed. Let her figure it out because she will. But anyway, my dad informed my mom that the lady had just come to their front door with her kids before my mom and I had gotten back from the grocery store, and that she was trying to basically get some money from him. And I think she was trying to be fresh with him too. And I'm not too sure, but I've seen her kind before. And like, lady, my daddy don't want you. My mama is a dime piece with all of the accolades. Okay. Because my mother gives Mother of the Year and Wife Award annually every year, okay? Gold medal, platinum trophy, and all. You ain't ever seeing her. Like, even on my mama's worst day, right? Okay, because I stand for my mama. But this lady was a real hustler. She was like pulling stunts. So when I heard that, I was like, nope, absolutely not. Let her spin the block again. I got her. So I was still basically minding my business that pays me. And I never let them know I heard the conversation. But what did I do? Called my parents' phone company and asked them to block that lady's number. And I was like, she's been calling the house. And I was like, I told them it was harassment, and they did. Okay. Or maybe they told me how to do it in the caller ID system or something. I don't know. I just know I was able to get her number blocked from the home phone line. My Blockiana game was so strong and full effect back then, okay? I was already knowing how to block people through the phone company, all right? Well, nothing for me to pick up the phone and dial them and say, how you block on the home phone. And I also got a hold of my mama's cell phone. I found that lady's number. I silenced her number. So if she ever tried to call my mom's phone would like never ring. And so basically my mom, she always kept her cell phone ringer on. So, basically it was never going to ring. My mom would never be able to like hear it to pick it up. And she didn't have my dad's number either. So I was not worried about that. But yep, I reprogrammed that lady information in my mama's phone, and I changed it too as well. Her phone name, like I'm not going to say her name, but I changed her name and my mama's cell phone to a hotel name. I think it was like La Quinta Inn or something. So basically my mom would never answer it when La Quinta Inn popped up. She always thought it was a hotel that had the wrong number. And luckily that lady like never left a voicemail, but I did answer my mom's phone one time when I saw La Quinta Inn pop up. And I was like, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. Like I wouldn't even let the lady like say anything. I just hung up on the lady. So I wanted her to make her feel like she was dialing the wrong number on her end. My voice change was on point, okay? Like we're not playing with my parents. Sometimes as a bystander or third party to come fix my life projects, you just have to intervene and fix the fixer, okay? Because someone has to have some objectivity. I had to help my mama and my daddy force that lady to fix her own situation. Like, we're not playing hero no more. Like, figure it out yourself, Pooh. And I really want to say, I think it was like 2 or 3 months or so. Like, after that, we never heard from her again. Never again. And then like a whole year or two later, she basically finally like fixed herself. Like, she finally got herself together, or she probably found her next victim. But you know what? I really do think she like got herself together because someone we know saw her and her kids in another city or state. And she was apparently like doing very, very well with a good job and all. And she was very happy and like no longer in her like rut and like poor state of mind. And I really don't know like how she solved her problems, but she definitely figured them out. And without the continued help of my parents, like she figured it out on her own. And lady, if you listening to this, you know exactly who you are. You owe my parents $2,587.23 with interest. And don't think I forgot. That lady was on some poor decision-making type behavior, but not my monkey, not my show. You have to make people face the consequences of their bad decisions, or they will never, and I mean they will never learn, and they will milk your pockets and your time trying to get you all involved to fix it. We are all grown, are we not? Like, we all have the same 24 hours every day and the same number of days in a year. Like, honestly, when you have people in your face nonstop begging you after you've already helped them before, but they never seem to show improve, then you need to let them know that you believe they are strong enough to face their own problems themselves. Shout out to Mel Robbins. Let them know you are exercising your faith, right? So do what you got to do, say what you got to say to let them know, they are on their own and you're cheering them on, okay? And my Terry Seville voice. I'm not saying to not help people out, but what I am saying is enough is enough. Like, ladies, don't let a whole grown man child in your life that's mooching off you to keep mooching off you. Like, that is a whole grown man, and ain't no amount of loving worth that man living off you and getting his come up off of you. So, sir, no, sir, goodbye. Because the last time I checked, the Bible said a man that doesn't work shouldn't eat. Right? Am I right or am I right? So he got to go. You are not his fixer and definitely not his keeper. We don't keep men. We women are the ones to be kept. And this is Soft Life Education 101. And if you're thinking any other way and thinking you should be fixing and problem solving for a man that is not committed to you, a man that has nothing going on for himself but laid up in your house, eating your food, driving your car, not paying any bills, a man that refuses to propose to you, a man that is not your husband, because it's given Jody, my Jody, baby boy, you not the real McCoy, then you need to be fixed yourself expeditiously. We sending out the prayer warriors for you, sis. Sometimes helping someone is literally not helping someone. Like, let them sit in their mess and figure it out. That's real love. That's tough love, but that's allowing them to grow up. And when people are challenged, they grow. You help them by letting them help themselves and figuring it out themselves. Like, this is how you protect your peace and teach people to respect you as a person and respect your time and your energy and respect your pockets and your spirit and most of all, your heart, right? Because that's what the word says. We have to protect our heart. Anyone you keep helping and fixing their situation the way that you are, then they are your resident dependent now. There's no tax break. There's no write-off with them being your dependent. Only your built up resentment towards them for all the things you have to give up to keep solving their problems. So, sis, I want you to be smart, teach people to be independent, and say no to them unapologetically. Like, let them figure it out and don't internalize their feelings when they get mad at you, because they will get mad and some will throw a temper tantrum, but that's expected because people get mad when you stop helping them, when you stop supporting them, because what's the saying? No good deed goes unpunished. And that's okay. We already know this. Let them be mad. When people get mad, when they get angry enough, that's when they start to do something. This is when they start to think about fixing themselves and changing. Their anger shines a bright light on their own unmet needs. And this is where they have that aha moment that they are misaligned. And it's always best for people to naturally come to this aha moment about themselves versus you telling them. Because if they tell themselves this instead of you telling them, it allows them to own their issues instead of you owning their issues. Got it? Okay, good. In my psychology 101 and 201 classes, I always remember my beautiful Black professor, Queen. May she rest in peace, the best psych professor ever. I hate that she's gone, but she was indeed a gem. I wasn't even a psych major, but you have to have these other electives. And so I wanted psychology because yes, I want to read the mind. I want to understand the mind. And she was teaching the mind. She was giving facts. She was letting it be known, right? So I learned a whole lot about the mind just in her classes alone. I used to walk in her class and be like, yes, give me the 411 on the mind. I want the whole rundown of how the mind works and the psyche and all, because I want to read somebody for filth with my mind intellectually, right? Let's get into these discussions. Let's hash it out. I was ready to let them know what I know. I remember her telling us college students that your emotions are your motivations. Emotions motivate, and that the emotion of anger is a catalyst for action. So when people realize how their life choices are the reason they are in whatever ish storm they've gotten themselves into, because life is about actions and consequences, then they will either respond accordingly and take ownership and redirect themselves through a course of action, or they will stay mad. Okay. They will be big mad at themselves and at the world and do absolutely nothing. But most will push themselves to do something. So girlfriend, I encourage you to withdraw that long-term support and enabling behavior of those that take advantage of you and refuse to own their ish and make positive changes, and let them get mad. Like, you want them to be mad. Let them get angry, because we want them to have this aha moment, because when they're angry enough, which I hope they are, then you can count on their change coming around the corner. And that's letting them fix it, because angry people actually do something about them being angry and their unmet needs, especially when support is pulled back. It forces them to do something on their own. It forces them to fix it. So stop helping them and let them fix it. Thanks for listening to the Ever Airwaves Think podcast. If today's episode made you elevate, share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep questioning until you have those answers. I'm out.